So after they get this pre-approval letter, they see a local real estate agent.
Yes.
And knowing that figure of $100,000 or $200,000, they can go out and look at homes.
Absolutely.
And that's where I come in. And there's lots of disclosures and things like that. But ultimately, when they find that property they like and that offer is accepted, a home inspection, of course, is done. But the bank then comes back into play when they have to do a bank appraisal.
Absolutely.
So can you explain that to us?
Absolutely. People often confuse appraisals with assessments. An assessment is a value of the home for tax purposes. It's generated by the town.
Lots of people see that, yeah.
They see that number, and they say, oh, it was assessed at a certain number. It, frankly, is largely meaningless in the mortgage process. It's only a number that's based for tax purposes. It's generating tax revenue for the town. Some towns use 100% of market value. Some use 60% of market value. And it doesn't really mean anything. So we do an appraisal. An appraisal is a true statement of market value. The way it works is an appraiser goes out, looks at the property, and then compares it to 3 others in the area that have recently sold. These days they want other comparisons that are no older than 90 days. So we want sales within 90 days and within a mile of the subject property if possible. Depending on the town, that may be hard to do. If the property is unique, sometimes we have to go outside those bounds. But generally, the best indicator of value is what something's recently sold that's very similar. And so the appraiser goes out and looks at those and then does a point-by-point, dollar-for-dollar comparison. The condition, the location, the amenities. It has an extra bathroom, whatever it may be, and they come up with a value. That has been, obviously, a big part of the real estate market these days. And what's changed, properties don't make value the way they had in the past.
Right, because I know bank appraisers used to be able to go back 6 months.
Right.
But now, when I'm listing a house, I try and look at everything every 30 days now because the market is ever changing.
Absolutely.
Now, how does the pricing for an appraiser compare if they have a foreclosure or a short sale to compare it to? Do they try and use a regular home sale?
Well, they like and that's a very big issue actually, because it is in fact a direct comparison. And so, in the eyes of someone assessing value, if a short sale or foreclosure sold at $50,000, but it's really beat up, well, if you could put $10,000 into the house to clean it up and make it nice again, it's going to detract from the value of the ones around it.
Sure.
Just by nature of it has to. It's really unfortunate, actually, that the impact of a short sale or a foreclosure impact your neighbors as well as your own. The person who
the whole neighborhood.
Absolutely can impact the whole neighborhood.
Well, for definition purposes, I'm just going to state that a foreclosure, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is a bank-owned property that they took over from someone who was delinquent in their mortgage payments. Okay, and then a short sale property is a property that the owner actually owes more than the property is worth.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so.
And the short sales would be less of an issue for appraisals likely. Okay. The foreclosures, if a home is sold at foreclosure, they're often sold at a deep discount.
Yes.
Because the banks are just trying to get them off the books.
Right.
Where a short sale may be closer to indicating the short sale shouldn't have much value impact. If the house is worth $300, it doesn't really matter what the owner owed on it before.
That's true, too. You're
It's going to be selling at something close to market. The short is between the seller and the bank that holds the original mortgage. So it shouldn't have much impact on the value of the properties or the neighborhood, whereas a foreclosure definitely does.
Right. Well, we're hearing a lot about the foreclosures and the short sales.
Of course.
And we're all listening to the national news. But I think if you agree with me, I think we have to look at local real estate numbers.
Absolutely.
Rather than the nation, because a lot of people are panicking today.
Yeah.
And a lot of them say, well, I'm not going to move because of this.
Right.
But look at the local real estate market, and it may be very different, because there are some states that are doing well.
Oh, absolutely.
Doing better than others.
Absolutely. Even more localized. I mean, frankly, it can be town to town.
Right.
Certainly within a 30-mile radius can be very, very different. This area compared to Western Massachusetts may be profoundly different. And, into Boston, different still. So you're absolutely right. It has to be very localized, which is why a great realtor is important to provide the information.